a lot of people knew about Full Force's music. They definitely knew the songs that you guys produced. You had some hits of your own, but in terms of, I think the moment that you guys really blew up was House Party.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think that's the second time we blew up. The first time we blew up was all the hits, and then but in terms of us and visually, because we were known as producers and writers more than artists. You're absolutely right. You know, but when that came, man, we had no idea, you know. And I remember it was yesterday. I was writing, and I got a call from a guy named
Robert Ford.
Well, no, I got a call from a guy named Reggie Hutland. I answered the phone and he said, hey, my name is Reggie Hutland, and I was told by a good friend of mine, Robert Ford, that I can get in touch with you. And I said, hey, well, what's going on? He said, well, I got this movie I wrote, man, and in it, there's a part that I wrote, the bullies were Jerry Curl, muscle-bound guys like Full Force.
It was in the script.
And Robert said, well, why don't you use Full Force? I work with them. And our attitude has always been, hey, man, you know what? Send it over. You never know. We always you never know. And he sent the script to me, and I read it, but I quickly passed it on to Lou, because ever since we were kids, Lou has always been one with Kenner projectors and doing plays and shows and everything like that.
And
so
he'd make us watch the plays as kids.
Right.
Too.
That's how Lou. So I sent it to Lou to check out. Lou, go from there.
So the bottom line is this. When they sent us the script, though, Reggie, we actually went to Reggie's office in New York. Him and his brother Warrington Hudlin, who produced House Party, they just wanted to see if we could act. And because of me and my brothers, as little kids, they're right. I used to be into plays. I would force them to be in the plays. I would force them to look at me with stick figures performing. And I got to give it to my brothers, man. That's why we had such great chemistry with House Party, because how we were when we were young. But when the Hudlin brothers saw us, do improvs, they gave us the part. We went down to L.A. When we was in L.A., we did a table read. It was Full Force, the three Full Force brothers, Tisha Campbell, Martin Lawrence, Robin Harris. And I remember going back to our dressing room, and I told my brothers, I said, man, I'm looking in this script, and it just has the bullies kind of plain, kind of bland, kind of like with no personality. I'm like, I don't want us to be like that. So what I did is I looked at one scene, and I completely rewrote it. In the movie, B's name was supposed to be Pee-wee.
Right.
My name was supposed to be Zilla. Paul's name was always Stab, the enforcer. I said, B, we're going to change names. Since I'm smaller than both you and Paul, I'll be Pee-wee, you be Zilla. I'm going to be talking like this throughout the whole movie. I'm going to say stuff like, I'm going to kick your fucking ass. And I smell pussy. I'm going to write all of that shit in there. And if Reggie and Warrington Hudlin loves it, then we go with it. If they don't like it, then we'll stay the same corny, bland shit that Reggie wrote for us in the first place.
All love,
So what happened is that, we love you, Reggie. So what happened is that we went to our trailer. We invited the Hudlin brothers to come to see what we wanted to do. We did that scene, the three of us with chemistry like that, and we killed it. And Warrington Hudlin looked at us and said, keep it. We kept that. After that, I changed all of our fucking scenes in there.
Every time.
And my brothers also had input in some of the writing also.
Yeah, sure.
And we loved it.
They loved everything we did.
But everything, a lot of everything we do is like really freestyle. Like even the scene in House Party where I'm punching Kid, we're holding him up, we're punching him, and then Lou says, wait. No. Yeah, and we just freestyle.
And we freestyle
the whole thing.
The part with us in the lunchroom, and then Kid throws the Jello, and B's classic look. Yo, this punk motherfucker throwing shit at us.
Yeah. Just making up on the spot.
Yeah.
Here's a scene, right? You're running around town like a sucker in heat. Me and my boys can't be beat.
Wherever you go, we can smell you like gas.
And we're gonna kick your fucking ass.
So that's one of the things you made of you.
Yo, but he used to get sickening with that part. You know what he would do?
Oh, man.
Being that he went to theater at Kingsborough College, he would stay in character
from the moment he left
even
the
as
trailer.
we're eating lunch and eating like, yo, pass that? You want me to pass that? Motherfucker, talk like you. He would stay.
Everybody on the set was like,
character.
you okay? In all fairness, I think one of the reasons why Reggie reached out to us is because our first movie was Crush Crew.
With my two brothers.
And me and B played some mean dudes at Crush Crew beating up Ron and Blair in the elevator. So that was the first one we did.
Now, Lou, I know you already kind of touched on this a little bit, but can y'all do the full I Smell Pussy routine?
Okay. And just to let you know, the I Smell Pussy routine came about when, I don't know if you guys
We've been
remember
saying
this.
that for years.
But what happened is that I used to be the one doing it in the studio. Like, we would look through the studio cameras, and whenever a female come, anybody we work with, from Samantha Fox to even our girls, Cheryl Pepsi Riley, Lisa, whenever they be coming in, they, unbeknownst to them, I would go, hey guys, I smell something. You smell something? I wouldn't even say it in his voice. I would say it in my Lou voice. I smell, and I just say it by myself. Baby Jerry hated it with a passion. Lou, don't. I go, I smell pussy, but I just say it by myself. When it came time to the movie, and we gravitated to do it together, that's when we put it in the script. And we would go, hey guys, you smell something?
I smell something.
Hey, you smell something?
I definitely
you smell
smell
something.
something.
You smell?
Yo,
I smell pussy. And you know when I knew? And you know when I knew that was very immortalized? When NWA did an album or an EP called 100 Miles and Running, and I think they did a record tour aimed at Ice Cube. And they actually did that in the song. Yeah. I smell pussy.
Yo, Lou, if you remember, we used to do this sometimes at some award. One time, me, you, Sherelle, and Terry Lewis, and Jimmy Jam, we all said it together, so we just do that, and people bug out. So it fit well in the movie, too. They loved it, yeah.
Vlad, we're celebrating 27 years of House Party, and you know something? It's got to be one of the most replayed movies,
of all time.
hip-hop team movies of all time,
sure.
all around the world. And still to this day, even kids that wasn't even born, like your crew here, they wasn't even born when House Party came out, and they all know House Party. It's a blessing. And our song, Ain't My Type of Hype, is our biggest record now, even bigger than Alice, because of House Party. It was the big dance scene song, and we're blessed. We're blessed.
Good one.
Right. And that song, Ain't My Type of Hype, wasn't actually on the soundtrack, but it was in the movie itself.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what's up.
Wow.
Crazy.
It came out before it actually came out before after the soundtrack was done. After our record was already out, Ain't My Type of Hype.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then you guys ended up doing House Party 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which wasn't directed by Reggie Hudlin or wasn't produced by Warrington Hudlin. It was actually directed and produced by George Jackson, may he rest in peace, and Doug
McHenry.
Doug McHenry.
See, because part of the thing about House Party, one of the genius about House Party was the way Reggie directed it. Reggie and was so smart that he was like a great coach who had good players, and he knew it. So he knew how to let them freestyle and how to pull them back in. Because I remember with Robin Harris,
may he rest in peace,
in the script, it just had his name. It said Pop. There was no lines. And I was like, yo, so what is he going to say? Reggie would just laugh and go, you'll see, because I don't even know what the fuck he's going to say. It was so genius the way it all came together. Martin's improv, and, it was really interesting.
And House Party 2 was the Pajama Jammy Jam, and it was a good follow-up. We were part of that. And, of course, it pales in comparison to the first one, but
still did very well.
It still did pretty good.
Just kept the legacy going.
Oh, yeah.
And Ralph Tresvant was in House Party 2. In fact, remember when Ralph Tresvant told us, Ralph Tresvant said, yo, man, let me tell y'all, when I heard y'all was going to be in House Party, the movie, I'm like, what is Full Force doing in the movie? He said, I thought I was going to hear you guys talk like, look at Spot Run, look at so. He was completely blown away of the chemistry.
Yeah, everybody was.
I love Ralph, though. Good brother.